Good evening and welcome to another live broadcast from Green TV, the Pat Foundation. We've had a multitude of guests, but tonight we have a fellow lady on our show, Bianca Robinson. She's going to tell us all a bit about her journey, a little bit about herself first of all. And yes, and from the accent, you'll notice she's not a native Yorkshire lass like myself. There's a little bit of an accent there. So Bianca, tell us who you are and what you do.
Thanks so much, Gail. So great to be here. Yes, I am a Kiwi. I've lived in north of England. Yeah, I've lived in the north of England since 2002. So I'm actually an honorary Teessider. I live in Saltburn by the Sea on the coast, and today I had the privilege to actually get out in the sea and go surfing as well. So I love it. And I feel
that was a bit cold.
It was very freezing. I had a hood, gloves, booties, 5mm wetsuit, and when that sea hit my face, I can tell you, like, the cold, that spring headache times to the power of 100. It was freezing.
I know that feeling, having tree planted on the top of a hill in Otterburn with hailstone and wind. Yes, I know what cold feels like, and I'm not doing that again. Oh, well, good for you. That's really cool. Surfing in Teesside. That's pretty awesome. So tell us a bit of background about yourself, Bianca. So what brought you over to England first of all?
Oh, well, I had lived here, and I'd lived in London and Edinburgh. And I was about to have twins, and I needed to go home and be surrounded by family, because I thought at the age of 25 I needed that support. So my partner and I went to New Zealand, and he's from this neck of the woods. So we spent 2 years there, but then we made a bargain that we would come back to this area so that he could be near his family. And I didn't know where we would settle, but I kind of fell in love with Saltburn by the Sea. It's a Victorian town. It's absolutely beautiful. It's right next to the North York Moors. Yes. And so here we've been ever since.
Oh, how lovely. So you came back for love. That's quite romantic, isn't it?
I must say, we are divorced now, but at the time we came back for love. I did.
Well, we'll move on from that one then. But no, and you stayed, so obviously you loved it. So really nice.
We love it. I do.
Tell me a little bit more about. So you're the CEO of the Sleepout. So you've done various ones up and down the country already. Tell me a little bit more about that for our viewers that don't know.
Yeah. So the charity is called CEO Sleepout UK, and our aim is to unite business leaders in cities from Northumberland to Portsmouth and everywhere in between. We invite them to spend a night outdoors and raise money and awareness of the issues, the kind of crisis that we're seeing around homelessness. And I believe that the voice of business is a powerful one. I believe that it's one that policymakers will listen to, but what I've got to do is unlock that understanding and compassion first. So that's what I aim to do at these events, and we say it's not anything like what a rough sleeper would experience.
No.
But when you are lying there in your sleeping bag on the hard floor at 3 a.m. looking up at the stars and hearing all the noises around you, you do start to gain some insight about what it's like. And then the next day at 3 p.m, when you're slumped at your desk trying to get through the day, it really does hit home some of the expectations that we have of people who find themselves homeless. They're in survival mode. They're not sleeping. They're just trying to get through the next 24 hours. So it really works. The feedback I get, I had feedback today. I had a sleep out on Monday night, Milton Keynes. Wonderful business community who really get behind it. We couldn't do it in the flesh, so we did it virtual. So people slept out in their backyards. One business leader actually asked his school if he could find a patch of land there that was safe for him to sleep. So that's where he slept. And the feedback was, absolutely what I'm aiming to achieve. We now realize how hard it must be for people when they're finding somewhere safe, being frightened in the night. Every noise makes you jump. Every shuffle, bird, whatever little animal might be coming up next to you.
You can't imagine. Yes, you take it for granted.
Yeah, and then of course they go home, they have a hot shower, they have a meal, they can get into a warm bed under a cozy duvet, and you start to realize the contrast. But I do let everybody know that homelessness is so much more than just rough sleeping.
Yes.
Rough sleeping sits at the tip of a very large iceberg. And during the pandemic, Gail, rough sleepers became invisible, because what happened was the government set aside money and gave councils 3 days to get every rough sleeper into accommodation. And that was called the Everyone In scheme. So a phenomenal intervention occurred at the beginning of the first lockdown, where councils had to get every rough sleeper into a hotel room, a B&B, just anywhere they could find accommodation. And it worked because hotel rooms were standing empty anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And as an intervention, that got 32,000 rough sleepers into that first step accommodation. Then what happened is a proportion of those felt valued, felt like they were being taken care of, and have gone on to get back on their feet. But a proportion of those have gone back out onto the streets. And in the second and third lockdowns, there was no Everyone In, and there was no provision for next steps accommodation.
Right, so it's just a temporary fix.
Yeah, but what we've seen is that it works. You can solve rough sleeping, so you can give people accommodation, and a majority of those will actually take that opportunity to get their life back on track, because they've got a safe place to sleep, they've got somewhere warm, and they can start to remanage things in their life. But what we absolutely need is a next steps accommodation plan, so that they can go from that temporary hotel room into a secure, affordable, long-term home.
Right.
And that means that person has that stability where they can start their life again.
And get back on their feet.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not just talking, so the image of a homeless person is male, maybe late 20s, 30s, addicted to substance, it's the stereotype, but we are talking about mums with kids. There's 250,000 children in the UK registered homeless right now. Really so mums with kids, young people who've been sofa surfing, who for whatever reason can't live at home, they've got to bunk down on somebody's sofa. And you need to ask yourself, what does that person have to do to earn that place on that sofa? And some of the answers to that are not pleasant.
No. And there's a big stigma with it as well, isn't there, Bianca? I know that it's kind of, I've heard people, say, they kind of step over the homeless and overlook them, think, they've chosen to be that way. But some people haven't had the chance and fallen victim to, and that's their only option, it is to be on the streets, and it's not their fault. It's
not their fault. Quite often it's a series of life events. Mm-hmm. So relationship breakdown, followed by losing a job, followed by losing the ability to pay for your accommodation, and then eviction, and then where do you go? Or it's illness, chronic illness can lead to homelessness as well. So there's lots of reasons why somebody might be homeless, but we blame. We're a culture that tends to blame people less fortunate for their lot in life, and it's really wrong, because somebody, they might be addicted to substances, they might have a load of problems that they're trying to deal with, but what they're trying to do is actually just get through the day and numb that pain, numb that trauma. And when we start talking about trauma, and believe me, I'm just telling you the things I've learned over the years of being in my role as CEO of CEO Sleepout, from charity bosses that know more than me, who work with these people every day. But I've learned a lot, and it's been quite a steep learning curve as well. But when it comes to trauma, that's a big trigger. So somebody who's had a lot of childhood trauma, you see a lot of those people find themselves homeless later in life, or one big trauma, such as serving in the armed forces.
Yes. And which is obviously the link which comes to us. So
Yeah.
Bianca, how long have you been doing these sleep outs? How long have you've been doing the sleep outs? Is it years, or you just for our viewers out there?
Yeah, so 2017. So my
2017,
background, I was the boss of a web and creative agency in Middlesbrough.
Oh,
I
right.
was a freelancer, and I was lecturing in Newcastle and York, and I was juggling a few plates. And the chairman, who's called Andy Preston, he's actually the elected mayor of Middlesbrough. And I understand you're chatting with him next.
He's coming. He's on the show next week. So yeah, that's thanks for that. The good news.
He phoned up, and he started this in 2013, and I'd helped him with the very first one. I slept out on the very first one, and he said, "Can you help? Because it's grown to a number of events, including London and Manchester, and needs some help." So I said, "Can't really squeeze any more time in, but I'll see what I can do." And I thought,
that's great that he cares. Yeah,
I'll work nights and weekends is what I thought. Okay. And then it just took over my entire life, because it made me, I was operating from my values base. It was something that had always shocked me as a Kiwi, as a New Zealander. I had never seen a rough sleeper until I came to live in this country. And
really?
So it was a massive shock. And then when I lived in Edinburgh, and temperatures plummet to, regularly minus degrees, minus 10 degrees. And rough sleepers used to line up on the Lothian Road. And, it was heartbreaking. So I thought this is a great thing to do to raise awareness. And now I know it can be solved. I'm thinking we just need a groundswell of support from the business community, and we can put that pressure on to get this fixed, to get it solved.
The work you do is amazing. I mean, if anybody can make an impact and anyone can, get everybody involved, it's you, Bianca.
I'm trying. I'm trying really. Last year was so tough.
Oh, we just need some, we need everybody to rally around and everybody to get on board with this. So that leads me on to the veterans. Obviously, you've organised, is why we've had our conversation and liaised, and you want to obviously do a CEO sleep out for the veteran community. So tell us a bit more about that for our viewers, please.
Yeah. So on 26th of May 2021,
right, that's not
we
far.
will be doing Sleep Out for Heroes. And Sleep Out for Heroes is open to any compassionate person across the country who wants to raise awareness, raise £100 if you can, find a safe spot at home, inside or outside, and do a sleep out with us. We'll do a video call on the night so that everybody can meet and greet and see each other's pictures, and there'll be some entertainment. I've got some fabulous wartime singers as well to just bring some entertainment to the evening. And we will raise awareness of veterans homeless. Now, according to the Royal British Legion, 6,000 veterans are homeless in the UK. And that's 6,000 too many as far as I'm concerned. Nobody who's served should be left out in the cold. And so I want to unite across the UK to fight for those who fought for us. And so if you've got an interest in the armed forces, and somebody that's fallen on hard times, then please do get involved. This is a fab opportunity to show that you care and do something about it.
Well, we'll certainly help you promote that and get the word spread out there for sure. I know we've got a couple of members on our Green Task Force that have been affected by homelessness, and they just need a helping hand. And it's really, really sad, and it's unfortunate for anybody, don't get me wrong, but the veterans are very close to my heart and our heart, and it's a case of they fight for our country. It's we need to help them out and get on board. So what can business owners and members of the public watching this do? How do they go about joining in the CEO's Sleep Out for the veterans?
Head to our website, which is ceosleepout.co.uk.
Right,
and
we'll put the links on this. Yeah.
On that homepage, you'll see all the events that I've got coming up.
Okay.
Sleep Out for Heroes is the next
event. There we go.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you, AD.
That's great. So ceosleepoutuk.com works, and so does ceosleepout.co.uk. So both addresses get you there. There's all the events on the homepage. You can choose Sleep Out for Heroes, Or if you're in one of the cities, London, Manchester, Middlesbrough, or even in Northumberland, we've got sleepouts running in May. So, yeah, so you can see there and you can sign up and register. It's fairly easy.
Absolutely. So that's the 26th of May. So
26th of May.
brilliant. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Andy's just actually mentioned there. Yeah, it is. It's a case of they don't need a hand out, they need a hand up, and they do. It's, you know, it's I'm not going to say it's a pride thing, but it is. A lot of them just need to ask for help, and it's that first step. You know, we've touched on a lot of things throughout the Green TV, and I know obviously a lot of people, a multitude of things, you know, whether it's mental health or, you know, homelessness or whatever topical issue, you know, it's just that initial reaching out, and that there's people there to help, and what a great job that you do, Bianca. So we're on board. We're definitely going to be, definitely. And any, you know, promotion that we can do, just reach out. We will attach any links to this broadcast, and this broadcast will be going to the Pat Foundation YouTube channel. I shall be posting it on mine, on Gail Acaster's channel, and we'll send it to you, Bianca, so you can post it out as well, so people can gain a really good understanding and, you know, find out you know, how people are living, you know, and how it does make you fortunate. It makes you realize, you know, we're sat here now having a chat in the comforts of our lovely warm home. You know, it's you know, it's people like you that make a difference, Bianca. So, you know, I can't say how good that is. So any more you want to add on that for me?
Yeah, so CEO Sleepout is an umbrella charity, and we are funding other charities' amazing work. And I've worked with Walking with the Wounded for 2 years now. We're working with All Call Signs, the Rifles Benevolent Fund, and other charities up and down the country will be getting involved. So just to say, but my job really is to raise that awareness and create that support for change, and that's what I'm really trying to do, Gail.
It's people power, isn't it? If enough of us make some noise,
absolutely, we could see a change.
Exactly. And I think, as you know, the veterans out there, they're the tough guys sort of on the line, but I think us feisty females behind them supporting them is going to make it a big big difference. The guns, I think your guns were bigger than mine, Bianca, but I realised I lost mine in lockdown. Yes, you know, it's about making that change, and it's about, you know, speaking together. One person, I know a lot of people out there think, oh, what can I do? How can I help? You know, every little help, every little gesture, you know, does make a difference to people's lives. So absolutely. Oh, thanks so much for coming on the show. We've had a lovely time. If anybody wants any more information or wants to get hold of Bianca, obviously we've given details here. We can post the links. Is there any other way people can contact you directly, Bianca? Do you have an email address?
Yes, so it's Bianca at ceosleepout.co.uk. We've got a Facebook page. You'll find us CEO Sleepout UK, and you can jump on Messenger as well. So if you hit our website, the Messenger box pops up.
Oh, brilliant! So brilliant. And I think Ada's just popped up the link there, so that's brilliant. Thanks for that. Right, well, thanks ever so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very impressed with the. Is there any more surfing planned for the
no.
week? It's too cold.
I call it my ceremonial annual surf out once a year.
At least you've done it. I tried a bike ride a couple of weeks ago. I think it was -1, and I literally got around the block before my hands just seized up and eyes were streaming. I went, maybe not do this one. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, thanks ever so much. Have a great evening, everybody. It's bye from me, Gail Acaster, and bye from Bianca. Bye bye.